war in most films is chaos. In Ran, it's choreography. Ran, from 1985, isn't just one of the greatest war films ever made. It's one of the most deliberate, painterly, and theatrical cinematic experiences ever put to screen. This is Akira Kurosawa, the man who made Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, Rashomon, and The Hidden Fortress. Films that were shot in black and white, but somehow still feel larger than life. And they didn't just influence cinema, they reshaped it. You don't get George Lucas's Star Wars or Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy without Kurosawa. His fingerprints are everywhere. Camera movement, ensemble storytelling, the very grammar of action itself. But now, at the end of his career, he's painting with color, and not just using it, he's commanding it. He isn't toying with his style, he's distilling it into something almost mythic. Because Ran doesn't feel like history. It doesn't even feel like memory. It feels like fate. I'm Matthew Charles Hall, filmmaker, film lover, film collector, and this is the Film History Network. And tonight we're talking about one of Japan's greatest artists and one of his finest works. A film that splashed a bright red punctuation mark at the end of a legendary career. It is, of course, Kurosawa's adaptation of William Shakespeare's King Lear. A story that's been told before in cinema, but probably not as completely or as devastatingly as it's told here. What's fascinating is that Kurosawa doesn't just translate the story, he translates the form. This is Shakespeare not just in narrative, but in presentation. It's blocking, staging, movement, it's performance. Kurosawa famously trained as a painter before he ever picked up a camera, and you feel that in every frame of this movie. He would storyboard entire sequences as full paintings, color-coded, compositionally precise, long before a camera ever rolled. There's nothing accidental here. Every frame is composed like a moving painting. By the time the crew arrived on location, the film already existed, just waiting to be captured. Characters don't just exist in space, they're placed like actors on a stage. Except here, the stage is a magnificent natural world. Mountains, fields, the countrysides of feudal Japan, captured in wide, almost unforgiving compositions. And Kurosawa doesn't rely on artificial lighting in the way Hollywood often did at that time. He uses natural light, weather, and atmosphere as part of the design. Wind becomes movement, smoke becomes texture, clouds become emotional cues. The landscapes feel stripped of warmth and mercy. Wind tears across barren plains. Banners whip violently against the sky, and smoke drifts from burning castles like incense rising up from a ritual. Entire landscapes become theatrical arenas, and Kurosawa shoots them like proscenium frames, wide compositions, deliberate movement, figures entering and exiting like cues in a play. He uses telephoto lenses, compressing the space, making armies feel stacked on top of each other, less like individuals and more like forces of nature. Armies move in eerie silence, as if in a procession for the dead. Color itself becomes part of the mourning. The late Tatsuya Nakadai plays Lord Hidetora, an elderly warlord handing over his empire to his 3 sons. And Kurosawa makes a brilliant, almost deceptively simple choice. Each son commands an army marked by a distinct color. Red, yellow, and blue. This isn't just visual flair. This is storytelling through color. You always know who is who, but more importantly, you feel who is who. Red feels aggressive. Yellow feels unstable. Blue feels cold, calculating. Color becomes identity. And when those colors clash on the battlefield, it's like watching paint collide on a canvas. And then there's the blood. That bright, almost unreal red. It's not subtle. It's not naturalistic. It's theatrical. And it stands out even more because Kurosawa withholds it for long stretches. So when it appears, it shocks you. Kurosawa isn't trying to make violence feel real. He's trying to make it feel inevitable, like something out of a Shakespearean tragedy, like something that was always going to happen. The blood, as much as there is in this movie, isn't gore. It's punctuation. It's the exclamation point at the end of human folly. And then there's the sound. One of the boldest sequences in Ran isn't just defined by what you see on screen, it's what you hear, or rather, what you don't. During the castle siege, one of the most famous sequences Kurosawa ever directed, he removes diegetic sound almost entirely. No clashing swords, no screams, no chaos. Instead, he overlays the destruction with music, almost like a funeral march. The effect is chilling. It's distancing. It forces you to process the violence, not as spectacle, but as tragedy. Kurosawa reportedly shot that sequence with multiple cameras simultaneously, capturing the action in long takes so that the choreography of destruction could play out uninterrupted. The score, composed by Toru Takemitsu, is one of the great film scores of the 1980s. At times it feels almost Western, echoing the mythic tone of Star Wars' softer moments. But it's also deeply rooted in Japanese musical traditions, using space and silence as much as sound. Sometimes I'll play the movie on mute here at Ford's and then play the soundtrack separately, just sitting there watching the images and letting the music watch over it. It becomes something else entirely, almost like an art installation piece. But with this specific sound design choice, war becomes silent, distant, abstract. You're not in the battle, you're observing it, just like in a theater. And when the sound does return, it hits you like a shockwave. The performances in Ran aren't naturalistic in a modern sense. They're heightened, deliberate, almost ritualistic. We get one of cinema's most effective villains here, played by Miko Harada, a performance that feels controlled, calculated, and quietly terrifying. This is Kurosawa, drawing from no theater traditions, where movement, expression, and posture carry symbolic weight. Even Hidetora's descent into madness is expressed visually. His flowing white robes, his painted face, his slow, ghost-like movements across the landscape. Every gesture matters. Every pause is intentional. Characters often feel less like people and more like embodiments of something larger. Pride, betrayal, madness, fate. By the time he had made Ran, Akira Kurosawa had spent decades refining his craft. And while it's clear he had more resources here, larger budget, massive sets, thousands of extras, he doesn't indulge in excess. If anything, he simplifies. He strips filmmaking down to its core elements: color, movement, sound, silence. It's cinema reduced to its purest form and then elevated into something nearly operatic. Back at Ford's, we don't just watch the tragedy, we drink to it. And tonight's film requires something a little extra. Mostly because the runtime on this film is over 2.5 hours. This isn't a casual watch, it's a commitment. So tonight, we're pouring a flight of our most prized Japanese whiskeys. Like choosing an heir to the throne, you can pick which one you want to rule over the others. Something smoky, something smooth, something with a little bite, each one telling its own story, just like the suns in Ran. Check out our selections in the comments below. And while we're paused for refreshments, let me tell you about the home video presentation we're watching. Ran is available on Blu-ray, but if you get the chance to see it in 4K, it does make a world of difference. The color timing alone, the reds, yellows, those deep blues, suddenly feel alive in a way that standard HD just can't replicate. Our copy is this Best Buy exclusive Steelbook release, but the same transfer is available in a standard edition too, and that's the one I'd recommend tracking down. Because Ran isn't just a film you watch, it's something you experience. Like a play performed on the edge of the world, where color tells the story, silence defines the violence, and every frame feels like it was destined to exist. This is Shakespeare, not confined to a stage, but unleashed across the natural world. It's mythic, it's majestic, and it's an absolute standard by which all other epics should be judged.